Hey everybody, Shay here. So a new game just dropped from Hoyoverse. It's called Honkai Nexus Anima. It's a Pokemon clone from the looks of it, at least on the surface. That's what I've taken away. And I just went to the YouTube channel to find out, because they have a YouTube channel per property where you can watch all the promo videos as they come out, etc., etc. And so I've subscribed to it just so I can keep an eye on it and see what new promos and whatnot drop. And maybe I'll be back around to react to them, because I do like the content that comes out of Hoyoverse. I like the style of the games that they develop. I played Honkai Impact Third first, which I really enjoyed, and then I grinded up until chapter 29, and then I sort of I just fell off just because of life stuff. I didn't have my system set up, blah 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 blah. So I also in that time jumped onto Genshin Impact to give that a shot. I also had a lot of fun there. I didn't quite get to Leeway, I think is where I stopped. I'm on my way there. I guess I didn't stop. I mean, games are just frozen in time, I suppose. And then I tried Honkai Star Rail, and I remember talking to a bunch of trash cans. That's where I am there. And I think I went to I'm gonna remember this, it's a hotel with a sneeze in between. Anyways, it was Gote. Anyways, I think it's Gote. It's pronounced Gote. Hotel. This is where I got to. And then I stopped there. And then I tried Zenless Zone Zero, and I only played about 2 hours of that one, so I didn't get very far in that. But I like testing them out because I really enjoy the games. I'm not going to say the part I don't enjoy, but the part that sort of starts throwing me off are the gacha mechanics. That's usually the point for me. Was like, I love drawing new things, and I like the idea of it, but then in play, I'm like, I don't really, I'm not really invested in the gacha mechanic part of that entire experience. Like, each of them has their strong suits. You play each of those games for a different reason is what I get out of it. And so when I heard about Honkai Nexus Anima, and I knew that there was something coming like this, like along the lines where it was going to be like a Pokemon-esque game world or whatever, I didn't think it would be Honkai, though. So that makes me very curious, because I really do enjoy the manga, especially for the Honkai universe. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend checking out the manga even if you don't play the Honkai Impact Third game or Honkai Star Rail. Check the mangas. The mangas are great. Okay, so without further ado, here's the channel. If you're curious about going to the channel to staying up to date with this, I've already got the first 2 videos loaded, so we can watch them together. And I'll give you some thoughts along the way. Work in progress, subject to change. I wonder if that's going to be something. Like pages you gotta go and collect, like Assassin's Creed. There's a Meowth and a Fenix. There's quite a few of them that are looking familiar, actually. They're fun designs, man. I see a lot of food motifs, which, of course, if you played Pokemon, there's a little bit, there's the food layer of it. Come on, man. There's like, it's there. With the whole suite and their attitude. Is that, I've only played Leaf Green, Heart Gold, and Omega. So I was gonna say Omega Red. That's an X-Men villain. Anyways, Omega Ruby. Jesus. Anyways, back to it. How you gonna get it? And then this. Okay. Got some icon symbology that's in, I think, all of the games, to be honest, except Honkai. In fact, I think Genshin's got the symbols for the elements, and then Star Rail has the symbols for the, what are they called? Eons, something like that. They're cool designs, but they do feel like Pokemon or Power World. Power World's gonna get sued first, and then this game is going to get sued next. They're really challenging Nintendo, huh? They're really saying, come on, come get me. Come get me. You didn't get me for Zelda. You think you're going to get me for Pokemon. Oh, gee. That's funny. All right. That's got a little bit of a Zenless Zone Zero, like, graphic design feel right there, right? The food back in the picture. There's a lot of food Pokemon for, edible life forms up there. It's cute. I get a promo teaser. It's just a teaser. Nexus Bond teaser. Side by side, I guess. Does it say something down here? Let's see. It says, I long to meet you in a charming little town, rounding street corners, climbing treetops, zipping through alleys, hiding on shelves for a secret peek, weaving between the feet of passerbys, swishing my tail to the music, brushing past with a swagger. What's going on here? Just some poetry, that's all. Just some speakeasy. The moment we met, sundered bonds will be mended anew. The 81 planes all shine for you. The 81 planes. So that might be like the types or something like that, but 81? That feels like a lot. No, I don't know how that works. But anyways, so it's the bonds, maybe the bonds between the heroes and there's a toast-headed kid on the field here. Anyways, the heroes and the minions, I suppose. We got recruitment begins yesterday when I found out about this, and then we got this trailer right here, this gameplay. So we got in-game footage from Honkai Nexus Anima. It feels like very much a Genshin jump off of a building. Without the kite, you get to ride the mounts like Pokemon. Damn, that's cool though. I mean, like, you're in the world. You get these Pokemon. You get these pals. You get these how are they, bonds? You get these bonds, and some of them have mobile options, and you get to leverage them in the world. I think it's fun. Wow, it's even got one of those birds, huh? Yeah, that very much has like a Zenless Zone Zero, I think, feel to the environments and the models at this point. Maybe it's got that modern vibe, and so that's an easy thing to compare to, you know? Very chill. Some time skips, I guess. It's very filled in with the lived-in environments are always fun to see, you know. Concert on the beach, nice. Oh, yeah, Pokemon have concerts too in their games. I bet you it's just gonna be literally whatever concepts in Pokemon is gonna be in here. Probably a battle spot right there. I'm not sure, a challenge spot. These things, these things. Are those blades or something? Combat icons? Sea icons? I'm not sure. Alright, some interactables for the hell of it. It says this game is under development and subject to change. The Nexus, okay, so you have blah, 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 5 languages. Blah, blah, blah. This is very, very early promo, but I mean, they are looking for people to jump on. Customization up in here. We got the Kiana bangs right here in the middle, forehead, or possibly, what are they? What's the, I forget what I called the guy in Star Rail. There's a Stella and there's a, what's my guy? I picked the guy and I took his name. I forget it now. She's got that kind of color-coded hair. Maybe there's other characters I'm not familiar with because I haven't played the games past the points I set at the beginning of this. That's kind of fun. Maybe you find these things as you go, like, or they're unlockables or something like that, or possibly even part of the gacha mechanic to pull these and then you get to customize your character based on pulls. Well, maybe. That being said, I haven't really seen any gacha stuff pop up on the screen, the cards and how you, like how that works. I haven't seen anything to suggest that. I'll talk about it at the end. Nice. Wait, did he have a chocolate IV? It's just got to like right in the veins, you know. Chaka koala. I don't know. Wow. Hey, wait, that was part of him. I think that was the C that was supposed to be part of his mouth, or what? Eggplant mouth. All right. Some casual racing mechanics in here. Maybe it's like the Pokemon. What were they called? It was in. Was it in Omega? There was the Coliseum, I think. Stuff like that. Like challenges. I know I'm comparing everything to Pokemon because that's what it feels like to me, and it feels like they're going to get a good share of the market because Pokemon's been suffering as of late, in my opinion. Otherwise, games like Power World would not have gotten as successful as fast as they did. You know what I mean? There's a gap that Pokemon is not filling because they've done the same thing over and over and over again for the last 2 decades. The graphics changed, but they could have innovated more along the way, you know, and maybe, you know, you open up a gap in the market, another company's going to fill it. And this company is very good at replicating what works in games, splicing them together, and then bam, they got a hit on their hands, you know, for another demographic, another audience segmentation, and they own it. Just destruction. That's it. No real purpose here. Just destroy everything. Those beams are going to bring down the entire house, though. I'm not sure about how smart that was. Yeah, a lot of food-based pals. Bonds. Okay. There's some combat arena type play here. Looks like there's no actions actually being decided here. Things are just happening. Not sure if this is like referring to anything else out there, because I just assume they're taking the good ideas from everything else out there. Listen, it's not a bad thing. Just do it right. Just do it better and get the market share. Don't apologize. Just do it. Win. Give customers what they want. Okay, it feels like maybe those are like cards or power-ups or something. You still have some control of stuff on the field. It's a lot of just a lot of Pokemon down there on the bottom now. Are those all optional selections like in play? That feels like a lot of chaos. They do like doing this with their logos. They do a logo, there's always a symbol behind it. It actually feels like a little bit like Final Fantasy. I remember this from like 2 decades ago as well. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, like they all had this thing where Final Fantasy and then there was like a symbol behind it. I used to collect the soundtracks. I'm derailing. So they always had the symbol. It was very... Anyways, just moving on. I've also opened up the website itself because I was checking this out. Anyone joining the test out there? Anyone excited about this? I was looking through this right here because of course I love Pokemon. I love animal things. I love designs of these things. They're so visually collectible. How's that? I'm not going to read all of them, but it's tempting. We got a puddle pup. I'm just going to look at what some of this might mean. We got aspects here. This is satiation. So I mean, I don't know. Eat until you're full. I don't know. We got striker, probably combat unit type of thing. We got some height and some energy. Not sure what the energy will mean. We got some descriptions of the characters and it's pretty thorough. They've done a few of them. We got an explorer here. We got hate, so an aspect of hate, aspect of light, another striker. Let's see, we got a gladiator and memory for this one. So definitely not like Pokemon. They didn't just like go and use the elements. Like they're using a different idea there. So maybe they're avoiding a lawsuit. I'm not sure how the Power World does it, but I don't remember. I've only seen someone play it, but I haven't looked into it myself. We got light here and protector. So tank maybe. No, well, yeah, protector. We got dark here, so light and dark is in here. Love and hate, I guess, is a thing. We got a blaster, so ranged attacker. A mastermind, interesting. So maybe like a field controller or something. That's fun. But look at that. It's like Vulberry. Full pics. Anyways, it's so a fox, but food. They love food. I guess Score Scythe feels more like an enemy you might see in Genshin or something like that, right? Kind of cool. We got War and Gladiator. Okay, we got Dark and Striker. Mush, Gloom, Meanie. Don't read them all. Don't let it get you. We got Change and Mastermind, Beauty and Hothead. Okay, we got a new one here. Fire, possibly. Hothead. I don't know. Explosive, maybe. Explosive, like explosions. Area of effects, that kind of thing. Maybe. I'm not sure. An aggro unit, something like that. Got a Mastermind and Hate. Don't newbie. Donut creatures. Just eat them all up. Are they all food based? No. Nom nom. Of course. There's a pal called. God damn it. I'm not even doing it on purpose. There's a bond. I think I'm going to call them. No, animas. Oh, they're animas. Which, by the way, means soul. You think it's an animal? No. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. It's been a while. Anima defined. Yeah, it's Jungian psychology, the feminine part of a man's personality, the soul, especially the irrational part of the soul, as distinguished from the rational mind. There you go. If you didn't know, now you know. We got nom nom. Satiation is all the food animals? I don't think so, because, we got a satiation, food animal. This one's kind of a cooked penguin, I suppose. It's not really a food thing. But this one is what now? Insatiability. Interesting. Okay. So they're like opposites. Oh, are these like the two opposites that come together and it makes like this hybrid version? Competition? It's like war and something else? I'm not sure. Neat though. Agnock. Nice. Damask. Oh, that was a new one. Does that say mascot? It does. Maybe mascot is like stuff you can ride. I'm making a lot of assumptions here. Cubblade. Oh, there's a new one. Regret right here and Hothead. Maybe they are aggro units. Or maybe it's like I don't know. I was going to say because red was regret, right? But I'm not sure. This just feels like a standard. Just feels like a bird. You see it like again like Genshin, somewhere in the background that you shoot with amber arrows. Plume Loon, yeah, beauty. This is new here. Cherubim. So angel, celestial. Got a milk carton. Mimu. That's fun. They're so silly. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to read them all, but alas, I get it's just I have a weakness, just like this guy. I have a weakness. I have to see it. This is nice. This is the one I would like to get, of course. I like chimera, hybrid animal kind of things. Yep. Anyways, oh, that's literally a Pokemon. What was it called? Lit. Hold on. Nit. Wick. It's like Wick something. Lickwick. Something like the Lickwick. I don't know. Sounds right. Something like that. Foolhardy instead of foolhardy. We got Pride and Explorer. Okay. Got up to 53 here. Clocked. All right. Memory and Cherubim. And then I thought we were back at the beginning. No, it still goes. There we go. And then we're at the beginning. Okay, and then in terms of characters, we got some sovereigns. So like your Herschers or your Archons. I'm not sure what they're called in Star Rail anymore. Aeons? No, because those are like the god things. Is there a version of this in Star Rail? I don't remember. Zenless Zone I didn't play long enough, but there's got to be something with those ones. Anyways, we got Order and Chaos Victus. I don't know, it has a little bit of an auto feel to him, but not quite. But I'm not sure if like they've done much of that with these characters or if these are like net news. Reality and Illusion. We got Life and Death. That looks cool. Light and Dark here. Oh, I want to say it was like Sele would have been a nice one for this, right? But I mean, it's kind of got the colors of it. But got Armand, Aperion, Infinity. We're back to Victus. We got the Novarks. Oh, why are you back in here? Anyways, we got Pravus. Armand is back in here. Blade. Pariah. Sir Champion. Okay, and then we got others. Got Nana Fey. Hua. Casio, Rolex. I'd probably go for the Cowboy. Not gonna lie. Maple. Manibel. We got a Kiana. Going back to the mascot of Hoyo. A plane strider on a long journey. Currently dealing with an aspect fracture. Interesting word being used here in both of those sentences so far. On behalf of the committee of a joyful Leah. Aya. I don't know if that's probably that's probably capital I. Aya. It's the name of a place. Maybe the place where the Pokemon are at. Anyways, I like this plane strider idea, especially with a Kiana character. As did she come from one of the other worlds, one of the world realities, one of the other leaves on the imaginary tree? Is she possibly akin to like a traveler that's in code because of the whole cloning thing? And I hope that's not a spoiler anymore. The Honkai Impact 3rd, and that maybe like there's a program and this is all actually a program, which I personally believe Genshin is kind of like this reality that exists because of not when I say program, I'm not even like talking about like you're in a computer program. It's the way the lore works. And the point is like the reality itself is possibly a new programmed reality, that kind of thing. And this is a Kiana that could possibly be one of the Honkai Impact 3rd Kianas that went from like somehow like a clone of that code. Maybe found its way here, and that's why she's a plane strider, that kind of thing, on a long journey. The long journey keyword, it sounds to me like the traveler words that are used in the beginning of Genshin 2, which is like, I'm just saying it's suspicious, that's all. And then it says aspect fracture reminds me of Star Rail. Just, again, I haven't played a lot of Star Rail, but I read the hell out of the lore of the Aeons, the god thing, like the codexes and stuff that you pick up along the way. And it's got a very literary parallel to a lot of the concepts going on there, and that's kind of my background. And so I could pick up on some of the patterns that they were laying down, and I was like, oh, this is kind of very, very, very clever use of like literature as part of the history of like literally like eons, like of infinity. Like the gods are based on things that have led to literary constructions and stuff like that, like works. But it's actually because it's like this universal consciousness, if you want to think of it that way, right? And that is what generated the lore of Star Rail. I don't know enough about Star Rail to know if that's right or wrong. I don't need that. I don't want to get spoiled either. But I'm speculating as a noob for all of these, but kind of putting some of the pieces together of all three of those games that I can see in just this one right here. The aspect fracture sounds like something to me like maybe like a gravity controller out there might have been able to like pull off and like slip into other Honkai Impact Third to Honkai Star Rail. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Just I'm not gonna say it just because it's a spoiler, but those who know what I'm saying. And maybe is that a thing? Is that like another version of what's going on here? I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. That's the only one I really read, to be honest. I didn't go through all of these ones. I figure they're all gonna have like character promos that will drop, and then we'll learn more about it that way. Like I saw Hua, I was like Hua. It was like a Hua, like a young animaster burning with passion. He's already quite famous in Aya. Well, that's gonna be really hard for me to say if that's two eyes. I don't even know. For his goal of making it through the qualifiers, yeah, to the amphitheater. It really feels like Pokemon the more you read these keywords coming out here. Anyways, there's the arena. Literally gets mentioned right here. Boom. Deputy Arena Master. They don't even hide it. I do love them for that. Some people might like roast them for that. I really don't. I love the idea that you just take these ideas and you make them better. You know, better subjective, but I'm just saying fresh. Fresh is a better word. Fresh. This feels like again Zenless Zone Zero from a environmental perspective. I'm not sure what this game is. Maybe I don't have the context to know, and I do feel like they're ripping it off from something, and I just because I'm going to make assumption that that's true all the time. And that's it, Hoyoverse. So, I don't know. I just want to kind of go through this, put some ideas out there for people who have played a lot of those other games longer than I have, for sure. If you know any other context that you might be seeing seeded in this kind of IP, like what I mean by that is like, why Honkai? Why is this Pokemon game in the Honkai universe, right? I know what my feelings are about that as the noob who started with Honkai Impact Third and has read all the manga. And I feel like everything is Honkai at the end of the day. Everything. All of the patterns around how the, what I call conceptual echoes. I know there's other names for them, and I've been away from the games long enough that I can't remember. I know y'all explained it to me, and it was like a short form of something. They're like proxies. The hell is that? Characters, CDs. The hell was the word? God damn it. EPs. You know what I'm talking about, where you have the different Sakuras and you have the different Mays and you have the different, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember the shortcut where what I'm saying is that like, what was I saying? Oh, I was going back to like why Honkai, right? I gave you some of my thoughts based on what I know from the manga and just like the transition between Honkai Impact Third to Honkai Star Rail. I haven't played Honkai Impact Third Part 2, so I'm not entirely sure how the narrative becomes that. I will eventually return back to Honkai Impact Third because I do want to kind of know how things evolve and get to that point. Just from a lore perspective, that's probably the one I'm most invested in right now because it's the one I spent the most time in, right? So it just makes me curious how this might connect in with the lore that might already exist that I'm not familiar with. And I guess that's like dangerous to ask out there because of spoiler scenarios. Of like, I do want to play all of these games, to be honest, for the story. The gacha itself is something I'm not so addicted to, but the story, I really like the Star Rail story and what that was implying. Like, I really felt like that was going to be a really, really good story. And then the Honkai Impact Third, you get attached to the characters, and so you want to know how that plays out. But then something like this, I'm like, I didn't really feel like there was heavy story, but these are only 2 teasers, you know what I mean? Like, how much could they possibly give us? Like, but all the games I've experienced so far, there's been a very deeply woven story. Sometimes it's not executed amazingly, you know, like, but it's there, or the lore is there, the world building is there, you know, there's something that you can like really connect in with and make it a deeper experience. This feels extremely casual, and that's okay. You know, you sign in, you do your thing, you wander around, you collect some pets, and then you move on with your life. Like, I feel like there's a place for that, and it's got a little bit of that Animal Crossing and Pokemon vibe to it in the gameplay sense, if you catch my drift, right? It's for that audience. It's not for the hardcore players, right? There was one more thing I wanted to say, and I've derailed myself at least 3 times while trying to say it. God, it was something about Honkai, Nexus Anima. Oh, that was it. Is that, imagine that they actually release this game and it's not a gacha game. I think that would actually do way more damage to the market share of Nintendo than if they make this a gacha game. You catch my drift? Like, if they actually make this a legitimate challenger to the Pokemon franchise, contender out there with Pal World, that kind of thing, and they monetize in a whole different way, like they just change the entire model and they just say, no more gacha. It could be some other way of making the money. It could be cosmetic sales, right? Because there are games out there, they make a lot of money on cosmetics, and that's it. And so could they maybe start pushing into that space and really, really transform the way that they monetize their properties And could this be the first one that they drop where it doesn't follow the same gacha patterns of layered, really messy meta that is just, it's not that fulfilling for someone who really doesn't care about that part of the gameplay. It's really disorienting. It's very it makes me like I've tapped out a year and a half ago and I haven't been motivated to go back in because I kind of go like ignore all that and just like enjoy the story. It's true, but there's something like implicitly subconsciously addictive to see in that and wanting to pull, you know, but I'm not sure if that really adds the value to the game itself. You know, there's an experience of the gacha that you love about the gacha, right? But then there's the game experience, you know? And as someone who just wants to really experience games and the stories of games or the lore of the games, the world building of games, the character development in the games, I feel like I get very accidentally distracted with a lot of mechanics and meta that might matter to the gameplay, to be honest, but I don't really want to care about it. But I feel like I have to because it's part of the game. You see what I'm saying? If you can separate those two with a game like Nexus Anima, and you create a whole different model, I don't know, like Destiny, like Warframe, like there's other games that have done it, you know, and could they do it? I think that this is the company to do that right and better and possibly carve out that niche as well, you know, crossing fingers. If that's what they do in this game, I'm in. Just from a Pokemon clone perspective, I think I'm in. If they go deep into the gacha stuff with this game and you're pulling for the pets, you're pulling for the heroes, you're maybe pulling for the cosmetics, I can see all of that being true. You can pull for the powers possibly, which I've just seen in Uma Musume, for example. I just played it. I know it's not the same makers, right? But why wouldn't they rip something off from Uma Musume? And so you have like, because you can gacha pull for the abilities, I'm pretty sure. And then you can train the abilities, right? Or Star Rail. You can pull for those aspects. What were they called? Star Rail. I'm going all over the place. Jesus, it's been like a year and a half, 2 years. But anyways, I think that there's potential to make a lot of gacha layers to this that I don't think... It won't be for me if that's what happens. I'd be curious about the game. I might watch other people play it, but I'm not sure I would invest myself in this game if it becomes heavily gacha coded. That makes sense. Anyways, what are y'all thinking about out there? If you're a Honkai fan in particular, like from a Honkai lore perspective, what are you thinking? If you're a Genshin fan, this feels like the most Genshin Honkai game so far out there, right? It's like a blending of both of those worlds. By the way, I also just read that this is actually the Genshin team that is working on this game. So I was like, that makes sense. Because you see the visuals, you're like, that does make sense, you know? Because that's the prettiest of the games, in my opinion. Like Honkai Star Rail is pretty, I guess, but Genshin kind of wins in terms of open world, right? And that feels like this is the vibe that I'm getting here, and the way that these characters interact and flow, it just felt very Genshin-y to me, but in a modern setting, with very strange looking characters, like with toast heads. That actually feels very Zenless Zone Zero to me, because Zenless Zone Zero goes down some conceptual tracks that are a little bit oddball-y compared to the other properties, right? And this one goes a little further than even Zenless Zone Zero in terms of oddballiness, and I don't know where that is in the lore because I haven't caught up to the lore in all of the games. I feel like I'd have a lot more a cohesive way to put my thoughts together around all that space. But hey, you got a noob's opinion. What are y'all thinking, especially if you're from a Honkai lore perspective fan? Like, what does this feel like to you from a Honkai perspective? And if you're not a Honkai player, you're a Genshin player, for example, like how are you feeling about this potentially Honkai lore-based Nexus Anima? I think it looks like a fun game that's going to reach the right audience out there for it. That's what I think about it. Just like Animal Crossing isn't for me. And Pokemon, I like the idea of it, but not the modern ones. I like the older ones better. And so it's not for me either. But there's definitely an audience for it, you know? So there you go. Those are my thoughts, my noob thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to explore, engage, inspire. Ready? Peace.